Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Betting Insights. I am Timothy alongside Sergio. Welcome, Sergio.
Hey everybody. Hey Tim.
Welcome, everybody. Like you know, we are discussing 5 different club competitions across Europe: Serie A, Bundesliga, La Liga, Premier League, and Eredivisie. We are giving out betting tips for every match day. Quick recap for last week: gave out 5 best bets. I went 3-2, so another winning week for me. Sergio, you gave out 6 best bets and you went 2-4. So
Yeah, not a good weekend.
Not a good weekend. And 2 of those bets you went directly against my advice. You picked Vitesse. I told you they would lose, and you also picked Liverpool. Now I thought City would win, but I told you Liverpool would not win.
Yeah, it was a draw. So
All right, no
you're
worries.
right on that one also.
No worries. We will be looking to bounce back. I will be looking for a better record. Sergio, you will be looking to have a winning week. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get started. Today we are starting with the Bundesliga. First game on the schedule. Keulen hosting Leipzig. Keulen wins set at 6. Leipzig wins set at 1.55. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, Keulen picked up a good result against Gladbach last time out, but they are still the lowest scoring team in the league. Even at home, they have scored 3 goals in the last 6 games. Leipzig not in the best form at the moment, but they should win here against Keulen. I have a bet for this game. I'm going to do a same game parlay. I'm going to bump down the total goals of over 3.5. I'm going to play the over 2.5, and I'm going to play a draw or win for Leipzig. That puts the odd at 1.76. Good value for me. That's my play for this game. Are you doing something, Sergio?
No, I'm not doing something this game, but it's very interesting actually for one side because Keulen, now it's a Friday, they're playing at home. Like you said, Leipzig not in very good form at the moment. Keulen can cause a little bit trouble for Leipzig, but it's just a small feeling that I have. So
Yeah,
Keulen,
but more than a point, like I think Leipzig should at least get a draw.
yes, but I don't think it's gonna be an easy match for them to win. That's for sure.
Yeah, so that's why I took a double chance on Leipzig, and I believe the over 2.5 goals should hit easily. I'm not sure about the over 3.5, but that's my play for this game. All right, let's get to the next game. Wolfsburg hosting Augsburg. Wolfsburg wins set at 2.08. Augsburg wins set at 3.55. Line for total goals 2.5. Now, I like Wolfsburg here. In the last 5 home games, they have lost twice, but that was against Stuttgart and Bayern Munich. A very different level than Augsburg. Augsburg is on a 3-game winning streak, but that will end here. Wolfsburg will win. One of my favorite plays for the weekend. But I also like the over 2.5 goals here. Wolfsburg has allowed at least 2 goals in 3 straight games. And 2 of those, they have also scored 2 goals. So I believe we should see goals here. I like the over 2.5 goals, and I like Wolfsburg to win. Do you have a play here, Sergio?
Wolfsburg, they haven't won a game in like 6 or 7. So I think it's time for them to win, and especially against Augsburg. Wolfsburg number 13 in the league. It's for a reason that they're number 13. Yeah, but still playing at home, Augsburg. I don't think they have another option than winning this game.
Yes. And you are correct on looking at the standings, because this late into the season, the standing speaks volume. So you are correct in looking at the standings. All right, next game, Mainz hosting Bochum. Mainz wins set at 1.82. Bochum wins set at 4.4. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, the only play I like here is the over 2.5, but also not very confident. Both teams have combined allowed like 98 goals, but Mainz has scored just 20 goals in 25 games, which is why I'm staying away from this game. Bochum is a little bit better, but they're playing on the road. Only one road win, so against Darmstadt, so you really can't trust them on the road. I'm staying away from this game, but if I'm gonna do something, I'm just looking at the over 2.5 as the only play for this game. Are you doing something here, Sergio?
Yeah, over 2.5 is I think the only option left, unless you want to try a draw. But I won't go for a win for none of these two. So a draw or over 2.5.
All right, we're in lockstep there. Next game, Heidenheim hosting Gladbach. Heidenheim wins set at 2.45. Gladbach wins set at 2.85. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, only 1 point separates the two teams. Hard to trust Gladbach on the road, but they are the more experienced team. So that's why the only play again at this game, I'm looking at the over 2.5 goals. Heidenheim, 4 of the last 5 games has seen over 2.5 goals. So I believe we will see goals in this game. Are you doing something, Sergio?
I have a lean towards Gladbach, and to be honest, I will place them as one of my bets this weekend. Mönchengladbach. Yeah, it's like you said, they're the more experienced team. I know it's an away game, but still against Heidenheim, yeah, it's a chance for them now to climb a little bit higher on the table because they're number 12, Heidenheim number 11. 1 point, 1 point separates them. So, just for the experience, I will just go for Gladbach.
All right, let's get to the next game. Union Berlin hosting Bremen. Union wins set at 2.06. Bremen wins set at 3.75. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now again, we don't have a play in this game. Union lost to Stuttgart, Leipzig, and Dortmund and Bayern in the last 11 games, but they are still struggling to score goals. I don't really trust them, and I also don't trust Bremen going on the road. So I'm just staying away from this game. Are you doing something here?
Yeah, I was looking more at over 2.5. That could happen, and that's I think the only interesting odd for me this game is the over 2.5. That's very interesting. So it's odd to look at.
Yeah, but like I said, Union, they have scored 23 goals in 25 games, so I really don't trust them to score a lot. I'm also not sure about Bremen on the road, so I would just stay away from this game. All right, next game, Darmstadt hosting Bayern Munich. Darmstadt wins set at 17. Bayern Munich wins set at 1.17. Line for total goals set at 3.5. Now, obviously, I'm not looking to do anything here. The only thing, maybe the over 3.5 goals, because as we saw in the first meeting, Bayern Munich just smashed Darmstadt. So the over 3.5 is the only play I'm looking here. Are you doing something, Sergio?
Yeah, usually if the first game had so many goals, the second game is a disappointment. So maybe it'll just be a 0-2 or 0-3, maybe.
Yeah,
So
but if they score half half of the goals they scored in the first meeting, they will hit the over 3.5. They won by 8-0 the first meeting. So
yeah, but that's a problem. Usually it's just a third of the goals, or maybe even less. So
yeah, but I can see if like Bayern Munich really scores early, it could really get out of hand. If they score like past the 30-minute mark, I can see it 2 or 3-0, like you say. But I also think it could easily hit the over 3.5.
yes, it could, but still, yeah, the odds is not interesting enough for me to play the over 3.5.
All right. No worries. Let's get to the next game. Hoffenheim hosting Stuttgart. Hoffenheim wins set at 3.8. Stuttgart wins set at 1.9. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, my play here is Stuttgart over 1.5 goals. Good odds. Now, Stuttgart, they basically score twice in every game. Even on the road, 4 straight games, they've scored at least 2 goals. And we know what they do at home. So even on the road against a team like Hoffenheim, they should be able to score at least twice. So good value here. Takes Stuttgart over 1.5 goals. What are you doing, Sergio?
I would go even further. I would just go for the win for Stuttgart. The over 3.5, like you said, it's interesting, but still, I think the win is more possible than the over 3.5. Maybe they'll just score 2 goals, but I'm just going for a win for Stuttgart.
Yeah, but Stuttgart, I also think they will win this game, but I think the over 1.5 goals for Stuttgart is the safer bet. It's slightly lower odds, but it's the safer play for this game. So that's why I like that a little bit more than Stuttgart winning. All right, next game, Freiburg hosting Bayer Leverkusen. Freiburg wins set at 5.6. Leverkusen wins set at 1.6. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Sergio, is this the week Leverkusen will lose?
No, it looks like we're saying it every week, but no, I don't believe it will be this game. Freiburg is maybe not that team that you expect to cause any trouble. No, I'm gonna skip this week also. This won't be the one.
All right, and also Freiburg just lost 5-0 against West Ham today, so confidence will be low. But Leverkusen is also behind against Karabakh, 1-0. Very surprising, but still 30 minutes left. Karabakh received a red card, so we could see things change quickly. All right,
I think
let's
so.
let's get to the next game. Borussia Dortmund hosting Frankfurt. Dortmund wins set at 1.61. Frankfurt wins set at 5.2. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now Dortmund qualified in the Champions League. Impressive fashion, beating PSV. No travel. They played at home. They stay at home. They host Frankfurt. I believe they will continue their winning streak here. But I also have a interesting bet for this game. Also a same game parlay. Good odds. I have over 0.5 goals for Frankfurt. I believe Frankfurt will score at least once in this game. And I have over 1.5 goals for Dortmund. Odds set at 2. Interesting odds. I like that play. What are you doing here, Sergio?
Yeah, the over 3.5 is also an interesting one here. Actually, Dortmund, they played yeah against the PSV. It wasn't a really intensive game for them, so I think the over 3.5 is still possible. They will win for sure, but the odd for a win for them is not there.
Or you can maybe look at Dortmund to win and both teams to score. Also interesting odds there. Frankfurt has won once at Dortmund in the last like 14, 15 years. So Dortmund should win this game. They're staying at home. They're the better team. All
Yeah.
right. Now that wraps up the Bundesliga. Let's get to the Eredivisie. First game on the schedule. Heracles hosting Go Ahead Eagles. Heracles wins set at 3.35. Go Ahead Eagles wins set at 2.3. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now the Eagles have lost and not scored in 2 of the last 3 games, but that was against Twente and PSV. Heracles has won 2 games since hiring the new coach. Now the first one was against RKC, and the next one was against Vitesse, and they came from behind against Vitesse, but Vitesse received a red card play with 10 men, so I don't really trust Heracles to do anything in this game. They're playing at home, so they probably will score a goal, which is why I'm looking at the over 2.5 goals in this game. That would be my play here. What are you doing, Sergio?
Oh, Go Ahead Eagles is my definitely my one of my bets for the weekend. For a win against Heracles. Yeah, Heracles. Yeah, I don't think they're actually. I don't think they're one of the candidates to relegate, but still, they're not in the best form, especially not for Go Ahead Eagles. So I'm just going for a win for Go Ahead Eagles, and I think that will happen.
Yeah, I also would lean towards Go Ahead Eagles in this spot. Like I said, it's hard to make a case for Heracles. So, but I like the over 2.5 goals. They usually score at home, and if Go Ahead Eagles were to win this game, we should see the over 2.5 goals. Like maybe Heracles gets lucky and sneaks out a draw. So that's why I would rather play the over 2.5 than Go Ahead Eagles to win. But listen, if you gotta pick a team, it's gotta be Go Ahead Eagles. All right, next game, Fortuna hosting PEC. Fortuna wins set at 1.86. PEC wins set at 4.35. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, I don't really have a play in this game. PEC, they picked up a draw against Volendam, but Drawing against Volendam is like a loss, so 4 straight losses for PEC. While Fortuna, not much better. Goal difference about the same. 3 points separates the team, so not a lot to separate these two teams. I don't have a play here. What are you doing, Sergio?
Oh, well, Fortuna played a good game against Ajax last week, and it was an away game also. So
Let down spot.
Fortuna at home, I think it's a lot better than Zwolle away. So yeah, I'm still leaning towards Fortuna to win.
Yeah, if I had to lean, I would also lean towards Fortuna in the spot. They're playing at home. Like you said, I think they're slightly better, but still, I have a hard time trusting them. All right. Speaking of teams that are hard to trust, Excelsior hosting RKC. Excelsior wins set at 2.25. RKC wins set at 3.35. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, these are just two awful teams. I liked RKC last week beating Vitesse as they did. Sergio, you went against me and you lost that one.
Yeah.
But what are you doing here?
Yeah, but I have to go for Excelsior now because it's Excelsior. They lost 7 straight, 6 straight games, I think. Yeah, so I think
Yeah, it's
now
6 straight.
6 straight. They lost 6 straight. So yeah, now against RKC, they don't have another option because if they lose this one, it's also done for them. So and RKC, I don't think they're gonna beat two of their rivals for the relegation in 2 weeks time. So I'm leaning towards Excelsior. RKC, they played at home last week and now it's an away game. Excelsior, they should do better business at home against RKC. So I'm
Yeah,
going for Excelsior win.
I understand why you would go for Excelsior. Like RKC on the road, much different. Actually 4 straight losses on the road, and they have not scored in 3 straight games. So if you gotta pick a side, it's gotta be Excelsior in the spot. But like you said, Excelsior also 6 straight losses, so I have a hard time trusting him. Both teams are just awful. If I have to pick one, I would lean towards Excelsior, but both teams are just awful. And speaking of teams that are awful, Vitesse hosting Almere City. Vitesse wins set at 2.28. Almere City wins set at 3.45. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, listen, Almere City, they're sitting at 12th in the league, but they've only scored 25 goals in 25 games. And Vitesse has scored 20 goals in 25 games. So both teams really have trouble scoring. I don't trust either team. I would lean towards Vitesse. My play here would be a double chance for Vitesse and over 1.5 goals for the game. If you do that same game parlay, the odd is set at 1.65. Good odds. Other than that, I really don't have a play here. What are you doing, Sergio?
I think Vitesse will storm at Almere City the first 20 or 30 minutes, score at least one goal. I would go for the over 2.5 here. So
yeah, I can understand why you would go for the over 2.5, but like I said, neither team really averages more than 1 goal a game, so goals might come at a
against each
premium
other,
here.
it can be different. So
Yeah, that's true. They also can defend, so
yeah,
so that's a you may have a point. All
yeah,
right.
I would go for the over 2.5, or both these two score and Vitesse win. That's also a possibility.
All right, next game, Volendam hosting Asset. Volendam wins set at 12. Asset wins set at 1.28. Line for total goals set at 3.5. Now, listen, you can't make a quiz for Volendam either way. My play here would be Asset halftime and full time odd 1.72. Good odds. Volendam's just awful. They stink. Sergio, are you doing something here?
No, this is a stay away from me. Like you said, FC Volendam, yeah, not a team to even think of putting your money on. It should be an easy AZ Alkmaar win.
Yes. All right, next game, Utrecht hosting NEC. Utrecht wins set at 1.98. NEC wins set at 3.9. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, I also, one of my favorite plays for the weekend, Utrecht over 1.5 goals, odds set at 1.82. NEC has allowed at least 2 goals in 5 straight league road games, even against RKC, one of the lowest scoring teams in the league. So, against a team like Utrecht, they will allow again at least 2 goals again. So Utrecht should score twice here. That's one of my favorite plays for the weekend. Utrecht over 1.5 goals. What are you doing, Sergio?
NEC, they won 4 games in a row. So now against Utrecht away, I think it's time for Utrecht to win again. Oh.
Yeah, especially after not winning 2 games, a loss against Ajax and a draw against Almere City. But those were like 2 road games, back-to-back road games. Now they return home. So I also believe Utrecht will win this game, but I think the over 1.5 goals for Utrecht is the safer play here. So I would back the over 1.5 goals as my bet here.
Yeah,
All right.
I'll go for the Utrecht win.
All right, also a good possibility. All right, next game, Heerenveen hosting Feyenoord. Heerenveen wins set at 6. Feyenoord wins set at 1.52. Line for total goals set at 3.5. Now, I don't have a play here. Like, Feyenoord's the way better team, of course. They're playing on the road, but still they should win this game. Are you doing something here, Sergio?
Yeah, the over 3.5, maybe. That's interesting because or both teams to score and Feyenoord win.
Feyenoord has allowed just 19 goals in 25 games, so they allow less than a goal a game. I think Heerenveen should be able to score here, so I would agree with you because Heerenveen has scored 40 goals in 25 games, so they average way more than a goal a game. Not a bad play.
And now they're playing at home, so
Yeah, both teams to score, Feyenoord to win. That's a good play for this game. I like that one. All right. Next game, Sparta hosting Ajax. Sparta wins set at 3.6. Ajax wins set at 2.1. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Ajax actually playing right now against Aston Villa. What's the score in this game?
it's 2-0.
Ajax behind.
Ajax received a red card. So.
Not a good spot because this would be one of my favorite plays for the weekend. Ajax over 1.5 goals. Now they're kind of getting their butt kicked by Aston Villa, but Ajax scores twice basically in every game. Like they haven't scored twice in the last 11 games, only against PSV and against AZ. Sparta's not on that level. So in every other game, Ajax has scored at least twice. So I think that this number is a bit inflated. Ajax over 1.5 goals. One of my favorite plays for the weekend. What are you doing here, Sergio? Also, of course, I think Ajax will win this game.
Yeah, but no, I don't think that. I would go for a double chance Sparta. Yeah, Ajax, a lot of their key players won't be playing again, and I would go for a double chance Sparta.
All right. I like Ajax in this spot, but like I said, I would play the over 1.5 goals, slightly less value. It's set at 1.82. Ajax win is set at 2.1, but still good value. Like I said, Ajax scores twice, basically in every game. All right, next game, PSV hosting Twente. PSV wins set at 1.44. Twente wins set at 7. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, PSV got knocked out of the Champions League by Dortmund. Now they can shift their focus to the league, but are we seeing a team that's deflated because they got knocked out, or a team that's angry and will just smash Twente? What are you expecting?
No, if PSV could still lose a game this season, Twente is one of the teams that can maybe deliver them that. So I would still go for a double chance. Twente, PSV they played during the week. It was a letdown for them. Yeah.
Also a road game.
Yeah, it's maybe still playing in their heads. I would go for a double chance Twente.
All right, I don't have a play in that game. I'm just skipping that one. And that wraps up the Eredivisie. Let's get to La Liga. First game, Real Sociedad hosting Cadiz. Sociedad wins set at 1.48. Cadiz wins set at 9. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Sociedad, they got knocked out of the Champions League a couple weeks ago against PSG. They shift their focus to the league. They beat Granada. Not that impressive. Granada is awful, but that was an away game. Now they go home. They host Cadiz. Cadiz came off an impressive win against Atletico Madrid. They won 2-0, very surprisingly. But Cadiz on the road is just much different. They haven't won on the road, of course. And if you look at the last 5 games, they failed to score in 4 of those games. So
The over 2.5 is also not that interesting because I don't see these two teams scoring a lot. If you look at the last 4 games they played against each other, the last 2 were 0-0. One was just 1-0. So I don't know.
yeah, maybe just look at the under 2.5 goals for this game.
Yeah, but that's also too low. Nah, this one is just a stay away from me.
All right, the under 2.5 is set at 1.62. I know it's not great value, slightly good value. All right, next game, Mallorca hosting Granada. Mallorca wins set at 1.81. Granada wins set at 5.25. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, I'm just gonna back Mallorca here. There's not a lot of explaining to do. They're playing against Granada, one of the worst teams in the league, especially on the road. Mallorca now playing at home. This is a good opportunity for them to pick up 3 points and climb a bit in the table and secure a spot for next season in La Liga. So I'm just gonna play Mallorca for a win here. What are you doing, Sergio?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I'm also going for Mallorca win. Over 2.5, also interesting. But I would go for the Mallorca win.
All right, next game, Osasuna hosting Real Madrid. Osasuna wins set at 6.25. Real wins set at 1.57. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, obviously, Real Madrid, the far better team. Slightly surprising high value for Real Madrid, 1.57, playing against a team like Osasuna. So you could play Madrid in this game, get some good value. And I also like the over 2.5 goals here. Are you doing something here?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The over 2.5 is a lot more interesting than and I see them scoring at least 2 goals. So yeah, the over 2.5 is worth a try. Yeah, I'm going for the over 2.5 this game.
Yeah, good value there. All right, next game, Getafe hosting Girona. Getafe wins set at 3.3. Girona wins set at 2.28. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Getafe 3 wins in the last 13 games against Celta, Granada, and 1 in the Copa del Rey against Espanyol. So not in great form. Now, Girona also has not been great, especially on the road, but they have not been shut out in back-to-back games all season. So I believe they will score here. So I like the over 2.5 goals, but also leaning towards Girona for a win here. Are you doing something, Sergio?
Yes, I'm like I said, I'm also leaning towards Girona to win this game. The form wasn't that good. A few games before last week, but it looks like they're starting to get their form back. So I would also go for the Girona win, and especially against Getafe.
Yeah, Getafe not in the best form. So good. The play here should be Girona. All right. Next game, Athletic Bilbao hosting Alaves. Bilbao wins set at 1.56. Alaves wins set at 6.75. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, I'm looking here at the under 2.5 goals. Alaves has not scored in 3 of the last 5 road games. And against a team like Bilbao, they will really struggle. But Bilbao could easily score 3 goals, although I think it's unlikely. So I would play the under 2.5 goals here. Are you doing something, Sergio?
I would play the over 2.5 here.
Bilbao allows less than a goal a game, 26 goals allowed in 28 games. Alaves 26 goals scored in 28 games, sorry. So they score less than a goal a game. I know their defense is not great, but not that bad. 33 goals allowed in 28 games. So I could see this game being like a 2-0. So that's why I'm leaning towards the under 2.5. But Bilbao's a very high scoring team. Then again, 48 goals in 28 games. So we could see Bilbao scoring 3 goals in this game. But I would still lean towards the under 2.5 here.
I can see why.
All right. Next game, Sevilla hosting Celta. Sevilla wins set at 2. Celta wins set at 4. A line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, Sevilla win is going to be one of my favorite plays for the weekend. Sevilla has not been impressive in their road games, but at home, back-to-back impressive wins against Sociedad and Atletico Madrid, while Celta has allowed 9 goals in the last 3 away games. So I think Sevilla will win this game, so I'm gonna back Sevilla in this spot. Are you doing something here?
Yes, you and I think we have the same bet this time. Yes, I'm also going for the Sevilla win.
All right, so we're in lockstep there. All right, next game, Villarreal hosting Valencia. Villarreal wins set at 2.05. Valencia wins set at 3.75. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, Villarreal, they won an impressive game against Betis last week. And they also won today against Marseille, but still they failed to advance. I like the over 2.5 goals here in this spot. Are you doing something here, Sergio?
Yeah, I'm going for a Villarreal win. Definitely Villarreal win. Playing at home, they're entering this game with a whole lot of confidence. I'm going for a Villarreal win.
Yeah, I understand why you would do that. And Valencia also on the road, back-to-back losses, failed to score in both games. One of them was against Las Palmas, so kind of a bad loss there. Villarreal, they're playing at home. So the play here should be Villarreal. All right, next game, Las Palmas hosting Almeria. Las Palmas wins set at 1.9. Almeria wins set at 4.3. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, obviously, you can only take Las Palmas in this spot, right? Almeria just the worst team in the league. 27 goals scored in 28 games, just dead last, only 10 points. And of course, they haven't won on the road yet. So they won't do that here, right?
Yeah, no, not against Las Palmas. Las Palmas, 9th in the league, like you said. A lot better team, a much better team than Almeria. So I'm also going for Las Palmas win.
All right, next game, Rayo hosting Real Betis. Rayo wins set at 2.6. Betis wins set at 2.95. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, I kind of hate backing Betis on the road, but I really can't make a case for Rayo. They haven't won at home in like forever, but Betis kind of inconsistent on the road. What are you doing here?
I'm going for a Betis win, of course. Betis, they have to start, winning at least 2 games in a row. And the last game, they played against Atletico Madrid. They played against Villarreal.
Lost both games.
Yeah, lost both games. Now playing against Rayo Vallecano, number 16 in the league. So it's time for them to get a win. I don't understand, or maybe I do, why their odds are so high, but it's a risk. It's definitely a risk to take.
Yeah, but they haven't been impressive on the road, so that's why the odds are so high. But if I follow your theory, Sergio, Rayo has not won in 10 games, so a win is getting closer.
Yes, but Real Betis, I think they have the same problem. So, but they have the better team, so I would still lean towards Betis.
All right. Next game, Atletico Madrid hosting Barcelona. Atletico Madrid wins set at 2.43. Barcelona wins set at 2.88. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, both teams advanced in the Champions League, so both teams should head into this game with high confidence. But Atletico Madrid is just the better team this season, and overall, and of course, the better team. And they're playing at home. They have just been absolutely phenomenal at home. Only one loss against Athletic Bilbao, and that was in the Copa del Rey, also kind of a fluky game. So against a Barcelona team that has been very vulnerable this season, I'm just gonna back Atletico Madrid for a win. You can't do anything else here. What are you doing, Sergio?
Yeah, actually, I can't agree with you more. This game, Atletico Madrid entering, I think, with even a little bit more confidence than Barcelona, because I don't think that there were much people that would expect them to beat Inter. So yeah, and now they're playing at home against Barcelona. I'm just going for a Atletico win.
Yeah, and I know Barcelona's sitting higher in their standings. They're 6 points above Atletico Madrid, but a lot of those points that Atletico Madrid dropped were on the road. Like I said, at home they've just been great, and I can't see Barcelona going into their building and picking up points. So Atletico Madrid for a win. That's the play here.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, that wraps up La Liga. Let's get to Serie A. First game on the schedule, Empoli hosting Bologna. Empoli wins set at 3.7. Bologna wins set at 2.23. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Empoli, they had a good stretch, but now they lost back-to-back games while not scoring, and they are still one of the lowest scoring teams in the league, while Bologna, one of the better defensive teams in the league. So Empoli could really struggle to score goals here. I like Bologna in this spot. What are you doing, Sergio?
Yeah, I'm also leaning towards Bologna to win this game. Yeah, I think that's the best way to go. But Bologna, very good form. I'm going for a Bologna win.
Yeah, and I would look at the under 2.5 goals, not the over 2.5 goals. Bologna has allowed 25 goals in 28 games, while Empoli has scored 22 goals in 28 games. So, like I said, Empoli could really struggle to score goals here, and I like Bologna to win. So that would be my play for this game. Next game, Monza hosting Cagliari. Monza wins set at 2.06. Cagliari wins set at 3.75. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, Cagliari won back-to-back games, but against some bad teams. One against Empoli and the last one against Salernitana. The one against Empoli was on the road, and trust me, they're not winning back-to-back road games. So I'm gonna back Monza in this spot. Monza for a win. What are you doing, Sergio?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I agree a lot with you this weekend. I would also go for a Monza win. I think we're on to something this weekend. Yeah,
Yeah, might be a very good weekend or a very bad one.
yeah. Because usually we don't agree this much. So
Yeah, but listen, these are just easy picks. I really can't see Cagliari. Like I said, really can't see them winning back-to-back road games. The win against Empoli was their first road win of the season. So how can you predict the second one coming this week? That's I can't see that happening. All right. Next game, Udinese hosting Torino. Udinese wins set at 3.15. Torino wins set at 2.7. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, Udinese's odd opened at 2.8. Now it's bumped up to 3.15. So I don't trust the odds here. I don't trust either team. This could easily be a draw.
No, I'm actually skipping this one. I don't have a bet for this game. I don't trust none of these two. So yeah, I'm just gonna skip this one.
Yeah, and also speaking of teams you can't trust, Salernitana hosting Lecce. Salernitana wins set at 2.95. Lecce wins set at 2.63. Line for total goal set at 2.5. I don't trust either team here. Salernitana is just bad, and Lecce is a little bit better, but maybe as bad on the road as Salernitana is overall. So This could also easily be a draw. What are you doing here?
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm still going uh, for the Salernitana, but only because they're playing at home. Yeah, I think that's the only reason that I would go for Salernitana. But yeah, I I think that they could still win a game before the end of the season. So uh, this is maybe a small chance for them, but it's a small lead. But
Well, they have won one home game all season, so it's not like you have many reasons to back them even when they're playing at home, and maybe even fewer reasons to back Lecce on the road because Lecce has not won on the road yet. All right. Next game, Frosinone hosting Lazio. Frosinone wins set at 3.35. Lazio wins set at 2.2. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, in this game, I'm looking at the over 2.5 goals. And Lazio lost somewhat a disappointing game against Udinese, but now, like, they're also a team that got bounced out of the Champions League and can shift their focus to the league and maybe try to push for a European spot. They're sitting ninth right now, like 7 points behind Atalanta. So this is a good opportunity for them to pick up points. So I'm leaning towards Lazio for a win here, and I also like the over 2.5 goals. What are you doing here, Sergio?
yeah, again, yeah, Lazio is the looks like the most plausible one. So I I'm also leaning towards Lazio
All right.
to for a win. Yes, definitely.
All right. Next game, Juventus hosting Genoa. Juventus wins set at 1.53. Genoa wins set at 7.5. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, I don't have a play here. Low value backing Juventus, but they should win this game. They're playing at home. They almost picked up a win against Atalanta last time out. Back-to-back home games, good spot for them. Genoa, not a great team, especially on the road. So I can see Genoa going into Juventus and building and picking up points here. Are you doing something?
Yeah, no, this one is also a skip for me. Like you said, Juventus, not great value there. So and again, and over 2.5 is also not really a way to go because Juventus, yeah, I don't know, they don't score that much also. So yeah, uh, not high value this game.
All right, next game, Hellas Verona hosting AC Milan. Verona wins set at 4.9. AC Milan wins set at 1.75. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Obviously, AC Milan's the far better team here. The odds are surprisingly high at 1.75, but this will be their fourth game in a span of 2 weeks. Of course, they're involved in European action. They also won today against Slavia Prague. They played against a 10-man Slavia Prague, so not a really hard-fought game. So I still like them in this spot, but won't be one of my favorite plays. What are you doing here?
Maybe the over 2.5. I would go for the over 2.5 this game at 1.88 or both teams to score AC Milan win.
Yeah, that's interesting play for this game.
Yeah.
All right, next game, Atalanta hosting Fiorentina. Atalanta wins set at 1.88. Fiorentina wins set at 4.1. Line for total goals set at 2.5. Now, this is also one of my favorite plays for the weekend. Atalanta to win 1.88. Good value. Atalanta playing today against Sporting. They were up 2-1. I don't know what the score is right now. Oh, it's still 2-1. Game almost over. Fiorentina also played today. So I like Atalanta in this spot. Are you doing something?
Atalanta, yeah, they're still up 2-1, and the game is almost over, like you said. But Atalanta playing at home, haven't won in what, five
5 games.
five games.
Yeah, but if they win today, then then they've won again. But still,
Yeah,
okay.
but still, yeah, but still, yeah. I would also go for Atalanta win. this game. Yes, it's playing at home. I know they played during the week, yeah, but
Yeah, but Fiorentina, that's why I like Atalanta, because Fiorentina also played today against Maccabi Haifa, a draw 1-1. So Fiorentina doesn't have a rest advantage. And if you look at Fiorentina's road record, 1 win in the last 7 games, and that was also against Maccabi Haifa. So I like Atalanta in this spot at home. Uh, they've been absolutely good at home, actually great. The last game, notwithstanding against Bologna, 8-1 loss. But now they win again at home against Sporting, and they will continue that streak. All right. Next game, Roma hosting Sassuolo. Roma wins set at 1.41. Sassuolo wins set at 8. Line for total goal set at 3.5. Now, last week, like we mentioned, Roma just playing absolutely great football under De Rossi. I think they're behind right now against Brighton.
yes, again Brighton, it's still 1-0, so they're behind.
Yeah, but they smashed Brighton in the first meeting, game almost over, so they will advance. They return home and host a awful team like Sassuolo, so they should win that game. But low value backing Roma, so I'm kind of staying away from that game. Are you doing something?
Like you said, over 3.5 is not. I don't think that's possible, especially not if they play the game today. So, and it is an away game also. It's an away game also. So yeah, I would just go for a Roma win, but not a high scoring game.
All right. Next game, Inter hosting Napoli. Inter wins set at 1.64. Napoli wins set at 5.5. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, both teams got knocked out of the Champions League. For Inter, kind of surprising, but they played a tough opponent in Atletico Madrid. Now they will shift their focus to the league, but is this a letdown spot for Inter? Because the Scudetto is all but secure, right?
Yeah, and I think it will that Inter will have the same problem PSV as you know, because Inter really thought that they would maybe had a chance to win the Champions League this season, and getting knocked out by Atletico Madrid, yeah, it will also play in their head. So
Yeah,
yeah,
especially the way that they lost. The penalty by Lautaro was just crazy.
yeah, so yeah, so maybe a double chance for Napoli. It could happen.
All right. That wraps up Serie A. Let's get to the Premier League. Not a lot of games in the Premier League this week. Only 4 games because some FA Cup games are being played. So a couple games are postponed. But let's get to the first one. Burnley hosting Brentford. Burnley wins set at 3.35. Brentford wins set at 2.2. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, if you have been following this show weekly, I always tell you guys to bet against Burnley. I have been successful, and of course, Burnley, one of the worst teams in the league. So even if Brentford is not one of the better teams in the league, I will still back them against a horrible team like Burnley. Burnley is just awful, even at home. So I'm going for a Brentford win here. Are you doing something, Sergio?
Yeah, but Burnley they didn't lose last week. It was a
Yeah, draw against West Ham. Yes, I know.
against West Ham. Yeah, but they scored 2 goals, 2 away goals, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
yeah,
but if
no,
of course they will pick up points. Of course, they don't have 0 points, right? They have 14 points, so obviously a couple draws, and I think maybe 1 or 2 wins. But if you bet against them, you will make a lot more money than betting Burnley.
yeah, yeah, but this one is a stay away from it. I'll lean towards Brentford, but still, I'm leaning more towards a draw again. So yeah, for me, it's a stay away.
All right, I like Brentford. But the next game is a stay away for me. Luton Town hosting Nottingham Forest. Luton wins set at 2.85. Forest wins set at 2.5. Line for total goal set at 2.5. Now, the odds tell you how close these teams are to each other. 3 points separates them. Luton 18, Nottingham 17. So kind of a relegation battle here. We could see both teams really being cautious, not forcing anything, maybe a very low scoring game. So I'm looking at the under 2.5 goals, but other than that, not really doing anything. Are you doing something, Sergio?
Lean towards forced. Very first, only because they're a little bit higher on the table, and I think that they still have the better team. So
yeah, but really not a lot separates the teams. Like I mentioned, 3 points, and Nottingham Forest, they've scored 34 goals and have allowed 50, and Luton has allowed 59 but has scored 41. So teams are very close to each other. Relegation battle. I could really see both teams really being cautious in this game and not a very high scoring game. All right, next game, Fulham hosting Tottenham. Fulham wins set at 3.55. Tottenham wins set at 2.05. Line total goals set at 3.5. Now Tottenham smashed Villa in impressive fashion, 4-0. Now they're playing back-to-back road games, which I really don't like, but I'm still gonna back Tottenham in this spot. They're the better team. And if you've been following Tottenham, you know they like to score goals, they like to attack. So Tottenham over 1.5 goals, slightly less value than picking Tottenham for a win, but also good value at 1.66. So that would be my play here. Are you doing something here?
Tottenham win, both teams to score or over 3.5, but still I'm hesitating a little bit about Tottenham, because they had a great game last week, away game against Villa, and they smashed Villa. And a week later, it's usually gone. So I won't be too confident for Tottenham, but yeah.
Yeah, but
only because it's Fulham, I would still go for maybe over 3.5.
But if they want to battle for a Champions League spot, they really can't afford to drop points that much. They're sitting 5th right now, so they just have to win this game. But you can see Tottenham's a really high scoring team, not one of the highest scoring team in the league, but if you look at the top 5, they've scored 59 goals in 27 games, so just slightly above Villa, who has scored 59 in 28 games. So the over 1.5 goals is kind of a safe play for me here, backing Tottenham. All right, next game, West Ham hosting Aston Villa. West Ham wins set at 2.75. Villa wins set at 2.55. And line for total goals set at 3.5. Now, both of these teams advanced in European competition. Like we mentioned earlier, West Ham beat Freiburg 5-0, and Villa, the game has ended against Ajax. They won 4-0. So obviously these teams both have a lot of confidence heading into this game. So what can we expect?
I would go for West Ham. Yeah. Aston Villa look like they, in the Premier League, they dropped the ball a little bit. So yeah, I would still go for a West Ham. I would go for West Ham win.
The odds tell you how close this game might be, 2.75 against 2.55. I understand why you would lean towards West Ham. Not a bad play. All right, that wraps up the Premier League, and that wraps up all picks and leans for the upcoming weekend. Quick recap for our best bets. I have Atalanta for a win, Ajax over 1.5 goals, Utrecht over 1.5 goals. I have a same game parlay, Keulen Leipzig over 2.5 goals and draw or win for Leipzig. And I have Girona, the game Girona Getafe over 2.5 goals. What do you have, Sergio?
Yeah, I have Wolfsburg for a win, Gladbach, Excelsior, Sevilla, Monza, Atalanta, and Real Madrid over 2.5.
All right. Now that wraps up the best bets, and like we always tell you guys, bet smart, bet with your head, set your limits, and stay within your means. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Yeah, have a great weekend, everybody.